So, I'm interviewing my Aunt Alma. Alma, where are you from?
I'm from Mexico.
Mexico? Are you from a big city or a small city?
Small city.
Small city? Okay, and how old were you when you came to America?
I think I was 11.
11?
I think so.
That's young, actually. I didn't know you were so young. I thought you came here as a teenager. I didn't know you were young. Do you remember, like, when your family decided to come here? Like, what was the reason?
My parents came here first, and they left us over there in Mexico.
Okay.
We had a babysitter taking care of us, and they used to send money to pay them.
Wow.
Yeah.
They came here to work, like, in the
like,
fields and
yes.
stuff?
Not in the fields, like, they used to, like, sewing.
Okay.
Factories.
Okay.
Yes.
Wow,
Yeah.
Actually, that's crazy.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, how long were your parents here without you? Like, before they got you?
Maybe 2 years.
Oh, that's a long time. Wow. What was one of, like, the first things you remember, like, when you got to America that, like...
I was afraid. I didn't want to go to school because I didn't speak English.
Okay.
And I used to feel, like, so bad, like, oh my God, like a little bit scary. Oh my God, this is not where I belong.
Mm-hmm.
Because, at school, the language is like, oh my God.
Mm-hmm.
I just wanted to go back to Mexico because my friends were over there, and I used to feel like lonely here.
Okay.
And then, you start getting used to it, used to the school, and then you make friends, but at first it was a little bit hard.
What year was it when you came here?
Maybe 19, I don't know, maybe 87.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So late 80s.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. What did you want to be when you finished school? Like,
I wanted to do cosmetology.
really? Okay, beauty queen.
That's what I wanted to do.
Was that something that, like, your parents encouraged, or, like, no?
They didn't encourage anything to us because, like in Mexico, they believe, especially the men, oh, you're a woman, so you don't need to go to school. Where are you going to school just to waste your time? You're going to get married, and your husband's supposed to support you. So they didn't let me go to school. That's why, my English is not that good because I never went to high school.
You never went to high school? Just middle school?
I only went to middle school. Like, I did, like, elementary school, maybe, I don't know.
In Mexico?
A little bit, yes, in Mexico.
A little bit.
But then here, I just did middle school, and then after that, I never went to high school. But I think I went to the 9th, went to the 9th grade.
Okay, so like freshman year.
Yeah, because before it was middle school, I think it was 8. No, it was 7, 8, 9.
Okay, so elementary was younger. Okay. What did you do instead of go to school? Did you get a job, or?
I used to go to work with my dad.
Really? What did your dad do?
Sewing.
Oh, he was a sewer, so
Sewing
you were
machine.
working in the sewing too?
At his factory with him.
Oh.
Yeah. Life was not easy for me.
That's a lot. Do you think there was a difference between, like, your friends in America and, like, the way that their families worked versus, like, your family from Mexico? Like, the way the parents would talk to the kids or the things that they were allowed to do? Was there, like, differences?
It was, like, a big difference because, they used to think different. Like, for example, American families, so they always encourage their kids to go to school, to be prepared, to have a career, to have a better life. But, my parents, they used to think very different.
Yeah. Just like a different small town type of way, kind of, right? Did you guys come to LA, like, first? So you've always been here? As soon as
Always
you came
here in LA.
Okay. All right. What was, like, did your parents allow you to date, like, boys? No. Never?
Never. I couldn't go out with anybody. I couldn't have a boyfriend.
How were you supposed to get married then?
I used to, I used to lie to them, oh, I'm going to church, but I didn't go to church.
Okay, troublemaker.
I used to hide, because I couldn't be honest with them because they didn't let me go anywhere. So.
Just really strict.
Mm-hmm. When I wanted to go out, my father used to go out with me. If I wanted to go dancing, he used to take me. I'll be there with me, and my friends were like all there, and my father was there. That was not me. Oh my god.
He used to come with you, guys, like when you were like in your 20s or like younger.
When I was in my 20s, he allowed me to have boyfriend, but I couldn't go out anywhere with him. He has to come to the house and see me in the house, like sitting down there.
And then your dad's sitting right here
watching. Yes, like watching.
That sounds horrible.
He can be cooking here, my dad, in the house, but me there with him just talking. That was so terrible.
It's terrible.
That's why I decided to get married. I said, oh no, I don't want this life.
So you just got married?
Just get married. How'd
you meet your ex-husband?
Oh, because he was my brother's best friend.
Really?
So he used to see me all the time.
Okay. Maybe one of these brothers will have a best friend then. So you just met him and like, did you guys date for a long time or was it like kind of quick you got married?
I think we were 2 years.
It's a long time. And you guys had known each other for a long time, so.
But at first he used to see me in the house and then he left to Mexico to work. Then he came back here to LA and then we got married. We used to like write letters.
Mm-hmm. Oh. So you guys have known each other for like ever.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. Did your brother go to school or he worked?
Yeah, he went to high school.
He went to high school? Mm-hmm. Was there like a difference in the way that your parents treated like the boys versus the girls? Yeah.
A man is always a man. He has the right to go to school and
really?
He was allowed to go out. It's like more freedom.
Free. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Mm-hmm. He was a boy. He was like.
Yeah.
They were probably, I don't know, like my parents were like that a lot too. Like my brother was always allowed to go out and do things, but it was because they were like scared, like because I'm a girl, Mm-hmm. So, all right. What was the most difficult thing about being like married? All of it.
Well,
if you don't want to answer, you can skip.
Well, at first I told you I had a good life.
Mm-hmm.
But then when my husband was drinking, he started drinking, and instead of getting better, he was like getting worse and worse and worse. Until we got to the point that he was
not good.
Not good. He used to say like a lot of bad words to me, like verbal abuse. And
is it like probably just hard being in like married because like you kind of have to be there for someone even when they're doing like wrong, right? Like that's probably one of the hardest parts. I would think so. Like being in a relationship with someone is like even when they're like messed up, you kind of have to like be there for them, even though you want to
feel like responsible, and then you want to help them, but they don't let you. So.
What's like the best part about being married?
My kids.
Your kids.
I have my kids.
Family. How do you think like the world has changed since you were like a young girl versus like being a grown up? Like what's some of the like things that you see in like society or like whatever?
Technology.
Technology?
Yeah. Yeah, what else? Let me see. Well, I guess that's it pretty much.
Technology? I think technology has like a big effect on people though. You know what I mean? Like kids today are like, they don't play outside anymore. They don't do anything.
They're too busy playing on the computer.
Yeah. Just like hanging out. Let's see. Some of these questions are kind of weird. What sort of like activities did your family do together? Like for fun on the weekends?
We used to go to the park a lot. We used to go to the beach, to the rivers. And maybe get together on the weekends, have carne asada, invite all the family, friends, cousins.
Stop chewing on the table. That's a good question from that. Did you have like a lot of friends outside of your like ethnic group?
When I was little? Not really, no.
No. Everyone you guys knew was like Spanish.
My father didn't allow too many friends in the house.
Really?
No.
No friends over.
Not to sleep over. Like how kids say, oh, I'm going to go sleep over at my friend's house. No. My father didn't allow that, especially because we were girls. I said, no, you stay home.
I have a girlfriend who's Hispanic, and she was telling me, like, her parents were like that. Like, her brother could go have a sleepover at his friends, but, like, she could not because, like, you never know if the dad's going to be a weirdo or there's, like, a weird brother. It kind of sucks how it's, like, different for boys and girls. I really hate that. That's what I hate in the world today. Like, it sucks. Okay. Let's see. Have you ever, like, been, like, discriminated against that you, like, no?
Like if I was discriminated?
Yeah.
Well, many times. Yeah, people make a lot of bad comments, or she's a Mexican, or she's a wetback, or they don't speak English that well, or I don't understand what you're saying, you know, like all the time.
Yeah.
But I don't care.
You don't care? Did your parents, like, tell you, like, that would be something that happened when you came to America?
No. They never said anything about it.
Really?
No.
Did you ever, like, say anything back, or did you just kind of always, like, brush it off and just, like, forget about it?
Brush it off and just forget about it. Because I don't want any trouble, you know, like, they're crazy, I don't care.
Yeah.
But they're not going to make me feel bad, no.
Yeah. Fuck it. Have you ever heard, like positive stereotypes, though, about your, like, minority?
Oh, yes. Like, they always say that Spanish, or not Spanish, like, you know, like, Latinos, you could say they're like hardworking people, you know.
Yeah.
They really work.
Yeah. I think that's, like, anyone who, like, migrates, though. Like, my stepmom came here, and she's, like, the same, like, really hardworking. She'd tell me all the time, like, you can't just be anything. Like, she would always tell me that. Like, in America, people tell their kids they can be anything they want to be, but you can't just be anything. Like, you have to work hard. You can only be good and hardworking. Like, that's what you're allowed to be. Okay. When you migrated here, did you guys drive? Did you take a train? Or, like, how'd you get here?
Let me see. That's a good question. Somebody lent us papers, illegal papers, you know, like
passport or whatever,
yeah,
like
the
ID.
passport. They just lent it to us,
and then you came over. Wow, that's crazy.
That's crazy. We passed with other people birth certificates. They just sent it to us.
And you just trade it?
They didn't ask any questions or nothing. Just in the car.
And you just drove up? Was where you're from far from LA? But it's, like, kind of close.
No, like, you know, like San Diego. From San Diego to LA, 3 hours.
Oh, so it's not far.
It's not far.
Not far at all. Wow, that's kind of crazy. And you came with, like, everyone? You guys brought, like, your whole, like, all your things, like, your house? No? Just
clothes.
Just clothes? You had to leave everything?
We left everything there in Mexico. You don't bring nothing here. Wow. You don't bring anything. Just, like, maybe two...
Just little outfits?
Just clothes, Like, 2 outfits, like, that's it.
Did your parents, like, tell you, like...
My parents were here, you know, so
they had
they already had an apartment, clothes, and everything for us.
Oh, really?
Because remember, they came before us.
Yeah.
So they just brought us. When they brought us, they already had everything for us.
So they waited until they were, like, prepared, so you didn't have to, like, struggle with them.
And we only came here because we had a little brother, and this little brother, you know, the babysitter gave him a pill. My brother was not sick, but it was a little bit cold, and then... well, it's a sad story because my father was not thinking to bring us here. The only reason that he brought us here is because my brother died. You know? So that's why the babysitter was taking care of us. And then, like, she said, oh, it's a little bit cold. So she grabbed a Tylenol, gave it to my brother, but she didn't crush it. She just gave it to him like
oh, and he choked on it.
And he choked and he died.
While your parents were here in America working to make
my father
money.
was there because the sad story is that my grandpa died. So my father had to go there. It was an emergency for him to go. So my father went to Mexico to bury my grandpa. And then 15 days after, my brother died. But my dad was about to come back to LA. So when that happened, my father just stayed there and buried his own son.
That's so sad.
It was a sad story.
And then your dad was like, that's it.
My father,
you guys are coming with
crazy, me. Like, because I still remember my father was like, oh, like, crying really bad, and then
Smokey.
uh,
That's so sad, though. So it was like kind of quick when you guys decided to come. It was like,
so my
let's
father
go.
came back to America, went to LA, and then I guess months, a little bit, like maybe months, 6 months, or maybe before, because I cannot really remember.
Yeah.
He brought us here.
Oh.
But I don't know if you believe in these things. My grandpa, because I remember one afternoon he was playing with my little brother. He was like laying down and had my brother here.
Mm-hmm.
And my grandpa said, if I die, I'm going to take you with me. I'm going to take you with me. And I still remember that. And that is true.
And he did.
My grandpa died. And then 15 days after, my brother died too.
That's crazy, actually.
And that I cannot forget.
That's crazy. They were really close, huh?
They were really close. Because my father was here, and then my grandpa was, like very attached to us.
Yeah, he was around for you guys when your parents were working. Wow.
You see?
That's crazy.
So that's why we are here, because my brother died, and then my father decided to bring us.
That's crazy.
And my mother, until now, she feels guilty. She said that's why my brother died, because they left us over there alone.
Well, I mean, they came here to give you guys a better life, though. Things happen. She can't feel guilty. It's just not her control. But I could imagine that would make someone feel like sad. Let's see. What's another good question? Like, do you still have friends in Mexico? Like, do you still have friends from your childhood, or no?
No,
not at all. Did you go?
I do remember some friends, but they're not over there in Mexico anymore. Like they get married. Like
And move out.
they're
and
all
stuff.
gone.
Yeah.
So I know some of them are in New York.
Wow.
I just remember one friend.
Did you?
Was a boy.
A boyfriend?
Yeah.
You had a
Not
boyfriend?
a boyfriend, but I used to like him. That's why I remember him.
Awesome. Okay, we'll move with the boyfriends.
Yeah. And then I had a friend, but I don't know anything about him anymore.
They just leave. That's crazy. It's like you had two lives, right? Like your life in Mexico and your life here. Did you guys go back to visit once you got to America, or like stay here?
Yes, I went like 2 times.
Oh, 2 times?
Like 2 times.
That's not very much. No, so you guys kind of came here and was like, here. Was it hard to come here and like assimilate to American? Like, was it hard or was it like fun?
No, it was hard.
Hard.
It was hard, yeah. Because all your friends are over there. I told you have to change school, and then the hardest part is that you feel like I don't know, like you don't have no friends, like no one likes you, like they see you like, oh my god, they don't even speak to you, you don't speak the language, and you feel so bad.
Just like an outsider.
And then I had to, like you start from zero, taking ESL classes, and it's really hard. Like, oh my god, I want to be here, I don't understand anything, I don't know, like the teacher is saying something, it's like you're in the moon, like you don't know anything, like you don't understand anything. It's like zero English, like zero, like nothing.
I couldn't even.
Imagine.
Like, I can't even imagine, because I've traveled around, like, even when you go to Europe and, like, Mexico, like, everyone speaks English now, you know what I mean? So, like, everywhere, except for, I guess, a little when I was in Barcelona. But people speak English, but they don't want to. And so, like, I would go places and, like, try to speak to people, and they would just, like, look at you and turn away. Like, they didn't know what you were saying. So,
because you feel, like, a little bit embarrassed.
You feel embarrassed, yeah. That's how I felt when I was, like, in Barcelona. I just felt, like, embarrassed. I was like, why? But why am I embarrassed? Like, but I did. I felt like I wasn't, like, part of it, Have you guys always lived in, like, this neighborhood of LA then, kind of? Where your mom's is?
Where my mom lives, like, central, the 22nd. Always here in this area.
Always here. Have you seen this neighborhood change a lot?
Yeah.
Yeah?
I think before it was, like, more dangerous. When I first bought this house, well, like, I do not want to discriminate.
Of course, no. Say how you feel.
But,
a lot of people do get wild.
Get in, and they used to get my my machine, like the grass machine, they used to get in. And one day they opened the window, like the living room window, and I used to have a bar, like close to the window. But like the window had bars, but they grabbed a stick and they took all my bottles, like the wine,
your alcohol and stuff.
Alcohol. And then one day, we all went to work. They came in. They opened one of the windows, and like we didn't have bars, so in the back, they got in, and my house was a mess. They went into my room. They destroyed everything. Like they
pulled everything out.
Like your clothes was everything on the floor, like everything, even in my Diego room, because my sister used to live there. My sister Rosie.
Okay.
They stole her rings. They stole my rings. They stole a gun that my husband bought. He used to have a gun for protection, but they stole it too. Like the VCRs, like a lot of
just everything.
Stuff. Not the beds, not the like big things, but
things they could take and
the
sell.
The VCR, the jewelry.
Yeah.
That it too.
Damn, this neighborhood has changed a
and
lot.
You couldn't live like anything there, like outside. They used to take the chairs, like everything. That's why you see me sometimes that we laugh because things got like right now it got a lot better.
Yeah, that's crazy.
That was crazy.
Do you think your children have like a different or like better look out on life because they come from like a family of immigrants? Like, you think that it changes them or like makes them like better, more understanding people in the world?
I think they like more understanding.
Yeah.
But I think they didn't suffer like we did. Because here they have everything.
Yeah.
And I'm not like, like I try to be like different, like teach them like, for me, education is always, like number one. Go to school, do something, like now that I can help you, you don't have to pay me rent, please go to school, Because I think when you go to school, people respect you.
Yeah.
Because, they think you are a professional,
Yeah.
you are educated. When you have no education, so people see you like nothing.
Yeah.
That's true.
That's true.
That's true.
That's very true. And education is like, that's what my parents always said too, like, so get an education.
Go to school, yes, get an education, be somebody.
Yeah.
And it's for your own good, like always tell them, I mean, you're going to enjoy, you're going to feel better, I mean, you're going to feel happy that you were able to go to school and, I mean, be somebody.
Yeah.
But always be a nice person.
Yeah. Always be nice, don't be rude. Do you think that your life like turned out better because your family came here?
A lot better. Imagine me in Mexico.
I don't even know.
It's
like a small village.
Like suffering, like very poor, because there you have nothing there.
Really?
Nothing. Because Mexico doesn't really. I mean, they don't offer you anything. And over there, if you want to go to school, well, you're supposed to have money, or at least to go to school and have a career. Even if you get a career, you don't get paid as much as here.
Yeah. Because Mexico doesn't really have, I mean, besides like agriculture, like food that they grow, Mexico doesn't have any like thing that they do. You know what I mean? Like America, we have colleges, so we have like jobs for people who want to be teachers. We have like a lot of things like that.
Well, here, the good thing is that the government helps you a lot. Even with medical insurance, with this, with that,
Yeah.
There's a lot of help here. That's why a lot of the people come here.
Really?
And sometimes, like, I mean, I don't blame this country sometimes when they say that a lot of the people, they just come here to get welfare, to get food stamps. Because a lot of the ladies I see, they get married, they have 4 kids, they stay home, they don't go to work, they're just waiting for a check. So that's also not good. Well, that's what I think. Because look, me, the government never gave me anything. When I got married with Antonio, we were always working. We never get no food stamps. I never get like anything. They used to give me like at first I used to get medical, but like emergency medical. Like if I still remember that if I had to bring my kids to the hospital and it was more than 400 and I think it was 50 something. If it was more, the government used to pay for everything. But if that was under the 400 something, I had to pay. But thanks God that like my kids were always healthy.
Yeah.
So that's a good thing.
Yeah, that's really good.
But see, they never gave me anything free. So that's sometimes I do feel bad For those mothers that are unable to go to work because like their kids are not okay, sick kids. How do you say it? Handicap?
Oh yeah, disabled
Okay,
children.
Disabled, that I feel bad. But if you're a good mom, I mean, if you can go to work, why people doesn't go to work?
Right.
Sometimes a lot of moms, they don't go to school, they don't do nothing.
And I think a majority, I think that's a huge, that's a stereotype we have. That's something that, people say about immigrants. Like, oh, they come here and they're just going to get welfare. But, when you go to the welfare office, you can't get welfare without a social security card. You can't get welfare,
No, but you don't get it for you get it for your kids.
So your kids who are born here.
Who cares if you don't have a social security, but your kids, they do have a social security.
Yeah. Well, if your kids were born here. Oh, but the parent in the parents' names. Well, still, then the parents getting the money, same. But it's not. I don't see when I go down to the office and stuff, I don't see very many you know what I mean, immigrants. It's usually people who are from here who go get welfare and stuff like that.
Because now it's not that easy like before. I think before
you could just go.
You can just go, but now if you're getting food stamps, I don't know, for certain time, they send you to school.
Yeah.
They send you to school to to go to something.
Yeah, they have these things, if you get, cash assistance money from the government, then every week you have to turn in, a paper with, signatures showing you're applying for jobs. Because, you can't just...
Before, no.
No, you could just do it. That's crazy. That's crazy. Wow. All right, let's see what else we have here. Oh, this is a good question. Do you remember the first time that you contacted a friend or a family member on with technology, whether it was a computer or a phone, Yeah.
With my daughter, FaceTime, I think.
Okay.
Maybe I go, oh my God. We can do this now, talk to...
Yeah, I FaceTime my dad, every day. That's the only... We never talk on the phone, always FaceTime.
That was nice. I was oh my God, really, this is happening now? I got, so excited.
When you came to America, when you and your parents had, the apartment and everything, when you came into the house and you saw all the things,
I was happy. You know what?
Happy?
I was, really happy to see my parents because I go, oh my God, we're going to have a lot of food. It's going to, better life.
Better life, yeah.
Let me answer them.
Yeah. No, you're fine.
Hey. Ajá. Uy, pues acabo de, ¿cómo se dice? Terminar con el señor y no tengo nada para comer ahorita. Tendré que ir a la tienda, so I don't know. Me estoy despidiendo de él. Luego me llamas. No te perder. Ajá.
She said,
Oh, well, yeah, when I came here, I remember the first, I think it was 9 times. They had milk and they had cereal. And
you never had cereal?
No, not in Mexico. I remember they served me a plate of cereal and I had a double plate. Oh my God, it's so good and the milk is so fresh. I don't forget that.
You never had it.
But that day I was so happy because, oh my God, we're not going to suffer. There's a lot of things to eat here. And I saw the refrigerator. When you come, your parents, they want to surprise you, have everything for you, little things that you don't have over there.
Oh, yeah.
I was so happy, and then they had clothes. They showed me the clothes and everything. Oh my God!
You felt like a princess, huh?
Yes, those little things, they make you so happy, so excited. Oh my God! Now we're gonna have a better life. We're gonna eat well. Because I was little, and I go, oh, okay.
Yeah.
But then when I started to go to school, and then I started I feel so bad because I didn't speak the language, and I feel like a stranger there, and I said, oh, I want to go back. Oh, no, it's not the same. Oh, these little kids, they don't talk to me. But then you start making friends, and then, you start to feel a lot better. You make friends, and then they put you on special classes on bikini ESL, I don't know.
Okay.
They give you you don't go to those regular classes with the
you don't learn regular stuff.
Side, they put you with all the Mexicans or the Latinos that they don't speak English. They give you special classes, but that's good.
That's
because
good.
that's the only way you're gonna learn anyway. Then
It's
I used
true.
to feel a lot better when they gave me my classes and say, they give you, like simple things like glass, wine, table,
Yeah.
pencil, chair. You start you start from zero, and then they make a quiz. Table, this. But they used to like translate mesa, table, and so and so and so and so.
Oh, that was probably good though, like to have like when you're in the Spanish classes, because then you had like other friends who kind of like were going through the same thing. They were all like new and kind of scared and stuff too, huh?
I remember I used to have this beautiful teacher. Well, at that time, I used to see her. She was so beautiful, white girl, and had a gorgeous body. Like, oh my God, she's so pretty. Oh my God.
You're like a crush on her?
No, because I used to admire her. That for me, she was like a rich girl, so pretty. Like, oh, I want to be like her one day. Dress nice and so and so.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That's crazy. So, I guess that's all. I guess like things that you talked about a lot, I think was like just being like scared. I think when you come to school, that difference, and then like how important school is. I think that's like the takeaway that I got on it, is that like coming to America and being able to like go to school is like a huge thing for people, and that's like really important. That's probably like the only way to like rise above social like class structures is to get educated, right?
And another thing, I used to feel so bad because the girls at school, they used to have beautiful clothes, and I didn't.
Curls?
No, clothes.
Oh, clothes. I was like,
pearls.
They
used to have like wear nice jeans, dresses, and everything. And I remember one day, I guess we didn't have any nice clothes, and then the school, they used to give us a lot of help.
Mm-hmm.
They called my parents, so they took us to a store, and the school bought stuff for us.
Wow.
But it was like a program. They used to help other kids too. And I was so happy because we went to a store. They bought us shoes and clothes and a lot of little things.
Oh.
And I go, but they don't have that anymore.
When I was a kid,
days on the back, they used to like help you a lot.
When I was a kid, and like, because I grew up at, like, I was born in 1990, so like I went to school in like the early 90s, and like even back then they used to help you, because my mom was really poor. We grew up in a trailer park, so like sometimes like not that I was an immigrant, I always spoke the language, but like I grew up really poor, so I kind of grew up like I hung out with like the Spanish kids and the black kids, because like all the white kids didn't want to hang out with me because I was poor. So like I kind of understand like being an outsider and like not feeling like you have the same as everybody. You know what I mean? Because I was like, I always remember that, like seeing all the other girls and being like, oh, like I don't have any of those nice things.
Myself, oh my God.
Yeah.
She wears nice clothes every day.
Yeah.
Not me,
right? Like I don't have those. I remember being like that too, and like I just remember like getting clothes at Goodwill and stuff, and being like, oh, like my mom would go to Goodwill and buy me clothes and like take them home and like sew the holes and like scrub all the stains out so it looked new.
So it looked nice.
And then I'd go to school and be like, oh yeah, this is like I just got it at the store. Like I'd lie and say that my parents got it like new instead of like at the thrift store, things like that. Okay, I think we're done here.